Okay, so I just opened up Thinkorswim here, and I was going to do something a little different today. I'm actually going to analyze live as I begin my trading day. So on the main screen, we have the 1,000-tick chart. It does look like it is following. Here's that green line that's been kind of our focus point since Friday. And there's the big jog upwards yesterday, and then overnight, because you can see, I'll drag this. Okay, this doesn't have the time, but in fact, let's just go ahead and switch this to the 5-minute chart so we can kind of see the times. This is the overnight trading, and then it did drop down and it broke through the blue SMA there, and looks like it's on a downward jog. It has hit a floor right here. Go ahead and put in a, not like that, it's going to be an alert. I think it's below that point. That's going to be interesting. Now, it did drop below it just like one tick, it looks like, below what it did before. Sometimes that's just enough. All right, let me zoom in on this a little bit. It's just interesting looking at different time frames. These two are, they're very, very similar. But when the day gets going and it gets faster, the 1,000-tick chart, I think, is way more accurate because it's actually orders that are going in, not just a time. But beyond the 5-minute chart, it starts getting more accurate when you get into like the 15 and the 30-minute charts. Then it's a lot more accurate. Oh, I had it up there already. Okay, so let's switch this one to the 15 and then this one to the 30 then. See what that looks like. Okay, so the 15-minute chart is interesting. We have a support system hanging out in the middle there, and if you look, the MACD is very, very low and threatening to maybe tip up a little bit. Stretch that out so we can see better. Yeah, it's already had one attempt at it. I would not be surprised if we have a huge bounce right at this point right here. I'll go ahead and put an alert in there. All right, so if it does drop, which I'm thinking it probably will, like way down at the bottom here, that's probably where it will end up, which is this one down here. That's not that far. That's very doable. I mean, goodness, we did all that in one day, so I'm sure we can drop further. Now that one also matches up on the 30-minute chart pretty darn close to this one here. It's less than 10 points above it. So we'll put in another alert right here. That's our second kind of floor hanging out there. When they're so close together, sometimes Thinkorswim kind of mashes them together like that, but it's there. Okay. And it looks like on the 30-minute chart, the MACD is still dropping there. Yeah, it does look like it's probably going to drop down some more, but I don't know how far. Each leg will just have to decide what's next. Okay, it just went through that. I couldn't hear that. I'm going to turn up my volume a little bit. Maybe. Okay. Let's go ahead and do a short. That's the floor there, so that's one bad thing about making a trade right there. The gold SMA is actually sitting on on the 30-minute chart. The price action is actually sitting on the gold SMA right here. So it's just kind of thinking about breaking through it. But I would say that is a sign that it may be going up. This is looking more down turning, and we just broke through support on the short-term chart here, so it's looking good. It did drop. That was kind of a more risky trade, getting in kind of at the bottom like that, but it looked good. The RSI was super low and kind of turning, so I went ahead and got out $137 profit on the first trade. That was good. Okay, while I'm waiting for this to maybe take another jog upward, I thought I would go ahead and show you the Fibonacci retracement lines, which are kind of cool. So we have on the 30-minute chart here the biggest picture that I want to really look at. So we want to start at the peak, just about there, and then the lowest point that it took, and then the next peak right here, to kind of give us an idea of maybe where it might stop or what the goal might be. I don't know if that's a terribly accurate one. Sometimes these work really well, and sometimes they don't. So looking at this here, let's stretch this out so we can see our percentages. All right, this is interesting. So in my experience, it often will get to this point, the 68.8 line right here, which is right here, which is actually right where we're sitting. So that in and of itself is a fairly decent support. We have, however, broken through this gold SMA here. So let's see, the 100 mark is kind of right in between these two alerts that I had set, which were the blue SMA here and the blue SMA down here. A little bit higher than that, actually. So, yeah, okay, so that's, I wouldn't be surprised if it got down to this one. I don't know that it would get past this point right here. I don't know. So that's just kind of interesting. I don't know if we can put a lot of stock on that, but kind of goes along with what I've already kind of thought. So that's very interesting. All right, so we're kind of like working on our little jog up there. I'll go ahead and get rid of this because it's kind of cluttering up my screen a bit. Okay, so now I can see that it's probably going to go up, to this point. So I went ahead and did a long. The MACD is looking good. The RSI is really low. The only thing going against me is that I'm kind of trading against the trend here. I'm just kind of trying to ride this, the leg up on the zigzag pattern, which is, I don't know, it sometimes works out, sometimes it doesn't. It's a little bit of a risk. Jogged down. I went ahead and put in a stop. I really didn't want to wait it out past that point. Kept dropping. Again, moved it down one notch. Okay, and then I got stopped out. So basically, I went back to break even again. Okay, so I did a short at this point, and again, probably not the best place. I could have waited. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, so okay. The one good thing about doing a short is that we do see that level's good. This is broken through the support here. That's looking like it could drop. It's just the very short-term chart is not looking good. So, and then it started showing signs like it was going to go up. So I switched sides again and decided, yeah, I think it's probably going to go up. So now I've gotten into my fourth trade here, and I wanted to do a reverse at this point here. And again, I don't usually like to put in pre-orders like that. I like to actually trade when I see the action. The indicators showing what I should do. But, I can move it and change it. It's looking good. And then it dropped back down again. And it went below it just a smidge. Kind of worrisome. Okay, notice the 4-hour chart here. I did actually play around with the lines. I moved the dotted red line up to the blue SMA just for future reference. And that's a fair ways down there. That's like 50 points down. I would not be at all surprised if in the coming week it dropped down to that point. but right now it seems a little bit indeterminate, honestly. Okay, it's kind of, instead of going up, like I was thinking, it was going kind of flat and pulling that gold SMA down. So being in a long is not really going to work out for me very well, probably. So I moved it down, hoping to get reversed just a small profit there. Went ahead and drew in the Fibonacci retracement lines here on the longer term chart, just to kind of see what that would look like. And it does kind of look like, you know, that dotted red line that I said was this pretty decent support right there. That is just above the 61.8%, which is, I think, pretty likely. It's pretty likely to hit that. So that's interesting. Okay, opening bell in 7 minutes. It might just be enough to push that up and then get a reverse. Okay, now we're down to less than 5 minutes. It's looking like that's a very real possibility there. Okay, we're at break even. And I didn't see a huge push up here, so I did a reverse position pretty much right where I got in here. So now I'm in a short, or soon to be here. Okay, now I'm in a short, and I actually, as you can see, the gold SMA got brought down right almost to that point, just kind of like I was thinking it might happen. So I actually think this is not looking bad. This is actually a pretty decent trade from what I see right here. Happen to know that it didn't really work out so well for me in the end, but all right, so I wrote it down a little bit, and that's a good trade. Still hanging on, and I lost all of that, and it started to go up. So I'm kind of wondering, I think I got a little distracted. I think I had to leave the room for just a moment right there, and I, you know, thinking that it's going to drop down this far, I was kind of in more of a long-term hold position or mindset, I guess. I don't really know why I didn't get out down there. But at any rate, I tried to get out here. This one didn't actually take. That would have been good had I done that. So we're just kind of going flat right here. Now these lines right here on the short term looking like they could go up. I was starting to get a little bit worried. I decided to just get out. So I did. That was a good call. I'm only at a $50 profit, 5 trades. It's a little bit of a frustrating day today. Just kind of watching it for a little bit. Okay, this is looking more bearish. Nice drop. Got in a short back there, and so this is a small profit here. Immediately went right back up again, and I kind of lost that. Dropped down, and good. I finally made a good trade. So I got out 6 trades. I should have just stopped there, but I didn't. $260 profit here. That would have been fine. So I decided, okay, well, this is looking like it's ready to drop again, and I'm still thinking this is a good support, and I really do think it'll go all the way down here, but it's going to probably be the rest of the week. Not opposed to doing another trade, but I'm waiting for that MACD in order to get in. Okay, so I waited. I thought I was doing a really good job. It looked like it had turned over, and I decided I was waiting as long as I possibly could. I waited for a good red candle there and decided to get in another short right there. MACD is looking good. Everything's looking good. And I'm short, and it started to go up. And that MACD is actually below the average line, so it continued to go up. And finally, MACD maybe turning, and then it went up again. So I kind of sensed my mindset at this point was not real good. I was hanging on and getting frustrated, getting distracted. I was doing other things. Not a good time to be trading, actually, because it could very well go all the way up to 47.88, and that's like, what is it, 10, 12, 14, sort of maybe even 16 points. I do not want to run it up that far. That is not good. So I shouldn't have hung on at this point, but I did. All right, so then it gave me hope. It dropped way down, got all my losses back, and should have gotten out. But it bounced off that point again. I kept hanging on, went way up again, and up again. And then it kind of flattened out. I'm still hanging on. On that one trade, I lost $650 at one point. Because I didn't actually get out, it's not going to show up on my record. But you know, I'm at a loss of 387 instead of a profit of 250. So that's really, really not good. However, I kept hanging on, and I don't really think that was necessarily bad because we have gotten up to that resistance level here, almost there on this one, and the MACD is looking really, really good. So I hung on, and at this point, we're kind of at a decision point right here, and I really didn't know what to think. I mean, I do have my pre-order in here, you know, but that's ridiculously low. We could go either way at this point. And I'm only sitting at a $187 loss. So I was willing to kind of take that risk and wait it out. I decided at this point, okay, it looks like it might be bouncing. So I did a reverse. MACD is also looking like it might be turning. Reverse and getting into a long position here. And I put in my pre-order up here where I thought it might go. Just didn't want to get up there. Kind of fluctuated around right where I got in. MACD is really looking good here. That looks very promising. But it didn't want to go up too far. Getting up to this point may have been a long stretch. So I sandwiched it, and it got stopped out. So now I've whittled my losses back to 112, and I canceled this order. And then I decided that probably a short would be good. So I did a short with bracketed orders here, and it flopped around a bit. It fortunately did not hit my stop up there, though it came close. And I'm following that stop down because I just need to stop, I think. I'm kind of bringing my orders in closer together as time goes on. I'm hoping that it will drop down. Move that back up again. Move that back up. All right, now I've sandwiched it very tightly just below, and I keep following it down. It keeps dropping, so it's like, okay, I'll take it. And then I got stopped out there, so I've whittled my losses down to $25, and I believe I stopped there. So it was kind of a break-even sort of day. The most money that I've spent was on my commissions, which is 9 times, what is it, around $7. So yeah, it wasn't the best trading day, but anyway, there we go.